Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapring Chronicles. We are back with another Ratchet video, and this time we have a Gearwrench, and I think this is the first Gearwrench teardown review that I ever did. So this should be interesting since Gearwrench is a pretty big brand right now out there. They are made or owned by the Apex Group, which, as we know, the Apex Group is pretty prolific in their ownership of different ratchets and different tools. Recently the SATA ratchet I did is also an Apex Group product. So they kind of go from like the low price into the mid price range, and the gear wrenches are kind of creeping up there, the prices on some of these gear wrenches, so this should be interesting. But before we jump into it, as always, if you can give me a like and also subscribe, it will only take you a second, it won't cost you anything, and it will let me know that you appreciate this kind of stuff, and hopefully you want to see more of it. Okay, so this is a 3/8 gear wrench, the 3/8 model, and this is the model number 81218, and it also has a symbol next to the model number. Not sure what it is. It kind of looks like a K with two things, one on top and one next to it. Can't really make that out. I don't really know what to make of that. And here's the handle. Smooth handle, just has two little rings here, and that's the end, and it has like a little nub at the end here. And as it's ratcheting, we can see that the switch is moving, so pretty much off the bat we know this is like some sort of a batwing pawl. I forgot how many teeth this had. It's kind of coarse, but not the coarsest. This is between 30 and 40 teeth. So, and this one's been knocked around a bit. You can see some of the wear on the chrome here, and the switch used to be black. Now it's only a few remnants of the black. It's mostly gray. The plate I guess was black also, and through oxidation it's lost a lot of its color. This is a quick release. You can see here the plunger, the ball detent goes in when you press, and this little plunger comes out. So let's take a look inside and see what makes this one tick. Has two small Phillips head screws holding the plate. Here are the screws. This is what they look like. Kind of the small head, small Phillips. So you're gonna need like one of those tiny Phillips. This is where my recent Pittsburgh screwdriver, the number 0. This is where these come in handy. You can fit them in these really small Phillips slots. And I don't know if you can pick it up. See if you can pick it up. You can't see it too much on this one. Maybe the other screw. But when I took these out originally, there it is. You see like a little blue there? It looks like it had a little bit of thread locker originally on these screws. And we lift up the anvil, and the plate pops out. This is a pretty hefty plate, decently thick, I guess thicker than what you would find most on a lot of Taiwanese ratchets. This was made in Taiwan, by the way. Like if you look at a lot of the Harbor Freight, Pittsburgh Pros, they're kind of a little bit thinner than this. So this is not too bad. And I looked up on Amazon, I looked this ratchet up, and right now this ratchet is selling for like $20, $21. I saw like two of them. One was $19.99, the other one was like $20.99. So here's your gear. Here's your teeth. Like I said, it's pretty coarse. This isn't one of their 189 tooth ratchets that's really popular, and Gearwrench is like on the forefront of, with a lot of other companies on these crazy tooth counts. This is a more traditional type of ratchet with a low tooth count. Like I said, probably maybe 36 or 40 teeth on this, so not too bad. And had very little back drag when I was ratcheting. I could feel it had a nice feel to it. It wasn't, the back drag wasn't that heavy, so I don't know, I kind of like this ratchet. And here's a look on the inside, and the broaching doesn't look too bad. When I first got this ratchet, it was kind of, like I said, beat up and kind of a little bit rusty and not that great a shape. That might be this black you see down here. That might just be the pitting, a little bit of the pitting and the wear on the chrome from that. But the teeth, and you see the paw here, the paw has 3 teeth. There's 3 teeth on this paw. You better look there. And the teeth on the gear and the teeth on the paw were pretty good, but just like mostly the outside was kind of beat up. You can still see how it looks, scratched up, paint, chrome, but the inside looked pretty good. Like we just saw, the teeth on both the paw and the gear were in pretty good shape. And here we see the other side of the paw. I decided not to knock out the paw, but if you want to totally tear this down, you would have to take like a punch and punch out this pin that's a part of this pin that attaches to the switch, and that's how you would get this paw out. But it's your usual bat wing paw you've seen on a lot of other ratchets. And underneath there's a ball, and underneath the ball in a hole there's a spring pushing up the ball, helping excuse me, keeping it in place, keeping the paw in place there when you're ratcheting. But not too bad a job. This reminds me a lot of the Craftsman, the older quick release Craftsman. The quality of this, I mean, it felt good. This feels better than the USA, the teardrop that was after the quick release, the teardrop that we all just like you see everywhere. This feels better quality than that, actually. And you know, this is made in Taiwan. Those switches on those teardrop, a lot of switches I've encountered on the teardrops, I don't know, something's not right with the paw or the ball, how the ball engages the paw at the bottom, but they want to stick to one side, and then when you ratchet, then they kind of come into battery. But when you switch them and you start ratcheting, they kind of like get cocked. The switches stay cocked to one side when they're not supposed to be like that. And that's something that I found in a lot of that series, that Craftsman series. And I just chalked that up to bad bad what do you call it, what's the word, just bad inspection or bad quality control, just bad quality control at the factory. They put those on, and as time went on, you know, Craftsmen, they were trying to race to the bottom, and a lot of the stuff was, the quality suffered, and I guess that's what happened with that series. But enough of that, enough of Craftsman. Getting back to this, yeah, well, once again, you see the broaching there, not too bad, decent, everything is decent on this. Have no complaints with this ratchet, like very little back drag, it functions good, has good, looks like good, decent quality material and workmanship. So I guess for my first Gearwrench, this is pretty good. I don't have any of the other Gearwrenches, the more recent ones, I guess you would say, the ones with the 120 teeth, 140 teeth. But that SATA that I made, that I did a review on recently, that from what I saw, from what I've seen in the Gearwrench, the 120 tooth Gearwrench, that's an exact copy of the Gearwrench. I don't know if the material in the Gearwrench is better, but the Gearwrench sells for, I think, like twice as much as that one. They're probably made in the same factory, probably the same material, but who knows, maybe it has a better pawl in it, the metal is better or something to want to charge that much. But if you didn't see the branding on it, it would be exactly the same as a Gearwrench. Okay, to put this back together, you just take the gear and you stick it in, and this is what it looks like when it's ratcheting from the inside. That's the lockup. And the lockup for the other side. And now you just take your plate, drop that on there, take your screws, and screw the plate down. As you can see, these screws are pretty small. The heads are small, like I said, and the threads are pretty small, so I wouldn't want to go too crazy with the torque on these screws. I would give it just enough torque, light torque, finger tight, you know, finger pretty tight, like good and tight. And if you're going to use this every day and you're afraid that the screws are going to fall out, I would just put some thread locker on there instead of like trying to go too deep on the torque with these screws, because I don't know, Taiwanese screws are notorious for wanting to strip out and lose thread, so I would be careful. So yeah, that's it for this teardown of the Gearwrench. And what was the model again? It was 81218, made in Taiwan, 3/8 drive. Decent quality. I kind of like this one. Alright guys, until next time.